This is a box. Some people call it rectangular. Some people call it square. Oh, the people who call it square are the people who don't know what rectangle is.
And not only that, we had a lot of grief on the last video. People saying that everything's wrong and everything. And I don't understand how many jealous people out there. So I've got a very special dance for you people out there. I've shown on my other videos. It's called the fuck you dance.
People who are given the fuck you dance also record it like this, which is really annoying. And then you have to mess around with your phone and stuff. Yes. Okay. Okay. This is a box again.
This is a bit dodgy, but this is the only way we can do it. We've got a GPS analog speedo. You can see we're not moving and it's jumping around a little bit, but you're going to get a rough idea of just why we're changing the gear ratio in this. So first gear, that's it, balls out. What's that? 2 mile an hour. Second gear, what's that reading, Brian?
5 mile an hour.
5 mile an hour basically.
6 mile an hour.
Third gear,
8 mile an hour.
what's
9
that?
mile an hour. 10.
So that was third gear, and you could see first and second are basically useless.
I think for a proper test we should do it again, but idle the car and no rev. What is the speed with no rev?
Oh, okay, we'll try that. Right, I've just noticed it goes faster in reverse than it does in first gear. Right, first gear. Let's. Right, this welded diff's a nightmare.
No, let off.
Right, that's let off now. She's gonna cut out.
No, she won't. She's a V8, man.
Yeah, but
It's
I think that
2.9 mile
yeah,
an
but
hour.
you have to take half a mile off that.
Second gear.
Second gear,
No rev.
no rev.
3.5.
We'll say 3, 3.5.
4. I see 4 there.
Yeah, but it's
4.1.
reading.
It maxes out at 4.2.
Yeah, but look, when you stop, it reads half a mile an hour. Ready? See? The old satellite's a bit dodgy. So you take half a mile an hour off them readings. See, I'm not moving and it's jumping up to even 0.8. So you can see it's absolutely terrible. And there's a fucking welded diff in it, which is even worse. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what we've got. Right, unfortunately Brian was wrong. He said it was just a box. It's not just a box. It's a box. Well, there's a sleeve first, or a cover, then a box, then another box. And I don't know what else is in, but let's find out. Right, I got that box off. I've just seen there's another box. Was that just a lid? Hold on. Is it an actual box? No, well it kind of is. Well, fair play to him for packaging it this way. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is me diff. Look how beautiful it is. Oh!
Yeah, it's heavy.
It is.
Wow.
Boom! Right, quick thingy on this diff. This is out of an RX-7 and it's a 3.9 ratio out of an automatic. That's the key. I originally said on my other video I just need the crown wheel and pinion because I've been told that it'll fit into the RX-8 diff and I can lower my gear ratio and everything's going to be happy, because I've been told that the RX-7 diff will not fit. But then I've also been told that it will. I bought a complete diff, and I'll show you why I bought a complete diff. Because, again, like I said, I originally was just going to swap the crown wheel and pinion, which is here and here, and the final drive, and just to get my gear ratio down. But then I would need new bearings, new crush sleeves. I'd have to completely rebuild the diff, which is a lot of work. I didn't mind, because I was going to do a video on how to build a complete rear diff. But then I found this one. Not I found it. I have to say a big, big thank you. I'll find out his name. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I will mention it in the video. He messaged me saying, look, Leon, there's one on eBay at the minute. But it was a ridiculous price because as you'll see in a minute. It's a complete housing, but it's also got a very special LSD in it. And I'm like, I don't need the LSD because it's not going to fit. It's a waste of money. The crown wheel and pinion is essentially worthless because it's 3.9 ratio, but the diff isn't. I've got a horrible welder diff in that car at the minute, and I hate welded diffs. They're just horrible. But look at this bad boy. We've got a torsion gear diff in this, and it is just an absolute work of art how these work together and how they lock, and it is just amazeballs. You can see we've got to clean it, but so I got the whole diff, and supposedly I've been told it's a straight swap. So me and Brian will find out very quickly if it is, and fingers crossed it is. But there we go, that's the reason why I got it.
That is the reason why you got it.
Right, so I'm going to seal this back up before any more crap gets in, but look at that. Drifting baby. People, Brian's doing one side. Say hello.
Hello! It's a fabulous day here.
It is a fabulous day. And look how people are going to be jealous now. Look at Brian's view, people. This is what Brian sees every day. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Boom. Look at that. See? A car doing a wheelie in a field. What more do you want? That's what Sierra said. That car's doing a wheelie in the field. So, Brian's doing one side. I'm doing the other. We've got the drive shafts out. We've quickly measured the diff within reason. It looks the same length, it looks the same width. What we've done is, or what we're going to do is, Brian, this is kind of do or die. Do the drive shafts fit? Do they go in? And do they fit? So we've got the cup here. Hold on. People! Brian, it fucking fits!
Pretty spectacular considering how many years into the difference.
Yeah, this is off an RX-7, and that's I think it's a 2005 RX-8. Wow! The only thing I have noticed which is slightly different, I don't know if you can see, there's a big bar coming down. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. You'll see Brian's drill right next to it. And on the RX-8 diff, the two holes seem to be further apart, which is these two holes here. So hopefully that the bolt hole's the same. I just got to drill an extra hole in the plate, which I'm not bothered about that. But it's looking absolutely awesome. Right, we've fixed one problem, well we haven't fixed it yet with the diff hopefully, but we found another issue with the drive shaft. But anyway, we've just taken off the top support bracket and Brian's going to put it on, and let's see if it does just go straight on.
I am amazed.
This never happens to me. Are them bolts not long enough?
We might use them off. Use these ones.
Yeah, them bolts must be longer.
That's the stud extractor.
Should just put some vice grips around there, so I don't give a fuck about them. Are they longer though?
I don't know. I don't know without taking them out.
Or is it this? Yeah, that's just not. How far were they sticking out on that one? Put it back on that one. How far were the studs sticking out? Ah, a good bit, yeah.
A bit more.
Yeah. Right, we'll just get a vice grip on these and see. Hopefully it's just a case of swapping them around.
It's not actually that bad on this. It's flush with the top of the nut.
Yeah, well let's just see if we can get one out and just see if they're longer for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Right, what we're going to do is we're going to screw one bolt down, screw the other bolt as a locking nut and spin the whole thing out. Thanks, Brian. Right, a really good thing to note, as you can see, this is the RX-7, this is the RX-8. There's about 1.5 more threads at the bottom, and there's about 2 or 3 more threads at the top, maybe a bit more. You can see the top there. So there's a slight difference, but it's big enough to change them all. That's what we're going to do. Right, bolts transferred over. Like I said, the only other thing that I think is different is these two holes here. We need to get the other diff in, because I think the other diff, they're slightly further apart. But again, that's not a big deal. but that is the most important thing, because that's what holds the diff on the top. And yes, we're lucky, Brian.
I am chuffed now, being that this is off maybe 2004, 2005 RX8.
Yeah, and a 20-year-old RX7.
RX7 is more than 20 years old now, is it?
Yeah, but I don't know if this particular one is.
Yeah. All
right, people, these are definitely closer together. We've tried to gun it off and they're just going to break. Now, I don't care about this diff, so I'm going to put heat onto it. It got the other one out, and just going to put heat onto this bolt. If you were keeping the diff or looking after, you're worried about seals, even though it's not going to transfer that badly, but because this is a welder diff and I don't care about it, we're just going to heat it, get it off. But definitely, these bolts, it's not going to be hot enough yet, Brian. These bolts are definitely a lot closer together on the RX8 diff than they are on the RX7. Sorry, on the RX8. They're further apart on the RX8. And that bottom plate there, it looks custom. I don't know how exactly the RX8 is set up, but I'm gonna have to drill another hole in that bottom plate, which I'm not bothered about. But yeah, so hopefully we can do this on camera. This one came out lovely. There we go.
Bob's your uncle.
Sandy's your aunt. Now we're going to put that on there, and then we're going to have to just customize that bottom plate. Right, we've just noticed something. When this goes down on here, you can see she's not, there you go, hopefully you can see that, there's a gap in between there. So what we're going to do is, we're just looking at the other diff. We're just going to quickly grind off this little bit here and grind off that little bit there to allow that to sink straight down. Blow out all the crap, and then we're done. Right, I'm going to show you how to actually test the gear ratio. We've just quickly done that one. I was hoping that was 4.7, because it's just, if it's 4.7 and this is 3.9, there's a bigger difference. Unfortunately, that's 4.4, but still, this should be 3.9. So I'm going to show you how to actually do it. Now, sometimes there is numbers on the casing and stuff. Now, on this, there's absolutely no numbers. There's no nothing. So I'm going to show you how to do it when there isn't. So all we need to do is we mark it, and we're going to count. But I'm not going to count that one, I'm going to count that one last. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thirteen, 14, 15, 16, 17, 12, 2, 3, 4, 9, 11, 2, 7.
43. 43. Now, we need to count the pinion. Same thing again. I'm just going to mark this. Count that one last. So 43. There's that thing we had. I knew he was going to do that, by the way.
You did not. 12, 13, 12, 1, 1, 12, 12, 12, 12, 14.
You kept saying the same number over and over again, Brian.
I know, I thought that would be
like,
more confusing.
It's like Brian's stuck. Right, hold on. I'm going to unstick Brian. Just keep saying 12 again.
12, 14, 12, 11, 12. Hey, yeah, 4, 13, 14.
There we go, see? 16, unstick him.
18. I'm a big boy.
43 and 11, is that what I said? 43, 11. Let's be. I actually forgot. It was 11, wasn't it? 43, 11. Let me.
I don't know.
I'm going to count them off camera.
12. Was it 12? I think it was 12.
It was 11. I was right. It was 43 by 11. And you go 43 divided by 11 is 3.9. So this is a 3.9 ratio. That's a 4.4. That's a very easy way of doing it. Obviously, you have to take the back cover off. So there is a good difference between them. It's just I was hoping that was a 4.7 to give me more of a difference. But not only is that there is a difference, we've also got a proper diff in this. And also from the looks of it, We could be wrong, but the drive shaft's going to need some work on this car because it was pushing up against there and it's just going to wear the pinion out. Now this is a welded diff, so I don't really care, but I don't want to destroy this because this is a good diff. It looks like this is about an inch shorter, maybe half an inch shorter, which for our case is good because it means it's not going to be pushing up against it. So it really is looking like this maybe isn't a straight swap to a stock RX-8. You got to remember there's a completely different gearbox on this car, and the drive shaft's been altered. Now I can't tell you if it is a straight swap to a stock RX-8. I can only tell you what I'm finding here. This does look to be shorter. These bolts are in a slightly different position, and the bolts down there, which is them two, are closer together on the RX-7. But again, that doesn't affect us, but it's going to affect you if you put it in a stock RX-8 because it's not going to fit. We can make brackets and weld the bars to suit. It looks like all the top fits, and you know, all the drive shafts, well, the drive shafts definitely fit. So all the main parts fit. There's just a little bit of fucking around to do, which we're gonna do now in a few minutes. Right, day one is done. We had that diff out and in literally in about an hour and a half. Really simple, but will it fit straight into an RX-8? No. How much messing has been done with this? I don't know. So maybe a bog standard RX-8 it might fit in, but remember we're using different gearboxes and the drive shafts have all been, or the prop shafts have all been changed and everything. So I can't go off a standard one, but it definitely won't fit on this one. There's some good things and bad things. The fact that it's about 2 inches, maybe 30 mil, the prop shaft won't fit. I'll show you in a second. So what we're going to do is we was never happy with the prop shaft, so we're going to actually make our own prop shaft. I'm going to cut it and I'm going to put a slip joint into it. I've got to do a bit of measurements and see which slip joints I can get to make it easier for me without doing too many modifications. The big huge bar which you see down there, that ran across the diff to the body, and that's basically a standard RX-8 part, which I don't like. These two bolts are closer together on the RX-7 diff than the RX-8 diff. That's an easy modification, but as you can see here, look. Now again, I don't know the setup of an RX-8. This is the way this is set up on mine. This was obviously made, but you can see we've got a big gap here. I don't like this. I don't mind these. I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to make my own box smaller so it doesn't hit this fan here, or this fin, sorry. And I'm going to make it out of stronger stuff. And then we are going to make a bracket to fit the top subframe so we can bolt the diff up that way as well, rather than going this huge big long bar down there, because I just don't like it. That's what we're going to do. It's a little bit of work, and then we're going to cut this prop shaft and we're going to make our own slip joint in the prop shaft, and we should be good to go then. But it's about 85% straight fit, to be fair. I prefer that the diff is like this, to be honest, because I can modify it. I was never happy with the way the diff was, never happy with the welded diff, and I was never happy with the prop shaft, just because it was putting too much pressure on the pinion and it would just destroy it. So, but it was a welded diff, so I didn't really care. So tomorrow there's going to be a lot of work. All we're going to really get done tomorrow is making this bottom bracket and making the top bracket, hopefully putting the drive shaft in, putting all the suspension back in, and then it's just messing around with the prop shaft. So yeah, see how well we get on tomorrow. Right, start again. Right, slight change of plan. I was going to remake this and make this smaller, but then I realised that I'm going to have to remake all this and all these angles again, and there's no point. But also, when I actually took it out, look, it's already broke already. Look at that. The torque and the power that's in this is just twisting this. And the top bracket wasn't very good, so we're going to make it stronger. So I'm going to just, again, use what I've got. Happen to have these lying around. And also, the new diff is actually slightly smaller, so I need this thickness to sit on top to bring the diff back level, because at the minute, the diff is sitting like this, and I have to lift this whole bracket up to make the diff sit level, but I don't want to redesign all this. So these are perfect. I'm just going to put them like that together. I'm going to make a slightly bigger hole in the middle of them so I can stick a nice bead of weld nice and flat and grind this off, and then box all the corners in and re-weld all this to these, basically like that, so it's going to be nice and strong. But what I also need to do is, these bolt holes are too far apart, So I have to measure and drill another bolt hole maybe around here, and obviously then also drill them into these plates too, so they all line up. So I'm going to do all that. There's no point me doing that on camera. It's going to take a while. Get all this grinded down, get it all pushed straight and back, and get the bolt holes drilled, weld all that on. Yeah, it's going to be fun times. Okay, we've taken the complete subframe out because it's just a lot easier to weld our bracket up here with the subframe out. We should have kind of done it first, but we're just being a bit too lazy. This is what we've done. Completely and utterly beefed up this bracket, as you can see. Put slots in it, just put triangles on it, 10mm plate on the top. Lucky enough we had the 10mm plate, and that was the exact gap we needed. We just had to grind a little bit more of that. Fins off. But there we go, completely beefed up. Now we're gonna weld something to the frame because the diff wants to twist and go up this way. And once we weld something to the frame, the diff cannot move. So it's gonna be strong. That's the plan. I know I'm gonna get asked, and this is the welder we are using to do all the work on this. It is the awesome Fronius welder, the 2200 trans steel. And this machine is just spectacular. I've used it in other videos, and anytime I'll be welding, this is the bad boy I'll be using, just so everybody knows. Because if I don't tell you, I know I'm only going to get it in the comments what you're using, and this is the bad boy we are using. It's a beautiful day. We're working outside again. Subframe is off, as you can see from the previous one, but this is what it looks like. But no subframe on. Brian didn't do the brakes like I told him to. Right, this is what we're doing. So we've just strengthened the plate up there to box this bit in, and we're gonna, once the diff's in, we're gonna weld a big plate across here, and then we're just gonna make a very simple box from welding from here to the diff, and that should give us all the strength we need for what we're doing. Now hopefully you can see our beefed up strengthened plate there. You can see what we're doing here now. So what we're gonna do is just a plate from here to there and one on the back. That should be good enough for us. We are done. We've got it all bolted in, tied in on the floor. So we've got some good news and bad news. Good news is, yes, the splines fit in the diff. The shafts are the right length and everything. That's all good. But the diff is about 2.5 inches smaller, and it was 10mm smaller here. So as regards a straight fit, I really don't think you're going to get a straight fit, but the most important thing is the shafts go in, the splines go in, and they all line up perfectly. Obviously, we was never happy with our prop shaft, so we was going to adjust that anyway. And the fact that we make that bar and adjust that bar and made it stronger, it's all good for us. But it's not a straight fit into your RX-8. That's our bracket at the top, nice and strong. So what we're going to do now is just 6 bolts, and we can get all this in, put the wheels back, get it off the axle stands. And then we just need to do the prop shaft.
Leon's going to be delighted lifting that whole subframe out to the RX-8. It's going to be great for the family jewels.
We don't need this anymore.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it's all twisted anyway because of the torque of the engine. But with our new setup, we don't need it. Alright, Brian's just putting the brake lines in, and we're going to have to do something with the prop shaft. But right, we've just rolled it off, and because obviously we can't drive it now. No clicking out the diff, no nothing. So easy to roll, magic. The diff is perfectly level, which is absolutely awesome. We just need to sort the prop shaft out now. But that's it. So another video done, another day done, another good modification done to this car. And that's it. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most important, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.